Alright, howdy folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Combat Mission Red Thunder. Unlike my last Combat Mission video, you won't be getting a cinematic after action report, but instead, I'll be telling you everything you need to know about Red Thunder. And why today, you ask? Well, the game has just been released on Steam, which makes it the 5th combat mission to hit Steam after Shock Force 2, Black Sea, Cold War, and Battle for Normandy. You can find a link to the store page down below in the description. At the end of the video, I'll also be sharing a Steam community guide, which will drastically, and it not only did it for me, but also my friends, improve your frames while also somehow making the game look better. Don't ask me how it works. It's kind of black magic, and the coolest part is it works, as far as I know, for basically every combat mission game. So Red Thunder has launched alongside the 2 existing DLCs for the game. Now the main game covers the fighting on the Eastern Front in the summer of 1944, from Operation Bagration to the fighting over the Polish capital of Warsaw. It comes with 18 standalone battles that you can play from either side, though some battles are definitely preferably played from a specific side, as well as 2 campaigns, 1 Soviet and 1 German one. Besides these pre-set up battles and campaigns, you can of course check out the Quick Battle Mode 2, allowing you to go as in-depth or hands-off with selecting of the forces, map, time of day, and more as you want. Combat mission games, even the newer ones like Cold War, use what feels like and probably is a very archaic engine. Honestly, you really shouldn't be playing combat mission games for their graphics, but really for basically everything else. You can play single player as well as in 1v1 PvP games in real time or turn-based, though I think turn-based is definitely heavily preferred. And the game is basically an in-depth simulator and really isn't trying to compete with, say, games like Company of Heroes or Gates of Hell. This simulation of morale, ammo, leadership, experience, and more, as well as very detailed campaigns, missions, and units, is what makes Combat Mission great. When you have finished all the campaigns and single missions, you can always jump into the map editor, making your own missions and campaigns and sharing them with the very small but also very active community online. However, it is exciting to see that now combat mission games are getting released more and more on Steam, as it just makes it a lot more accessible, which means more and more people are probably going to get into the game. Furthermore, combat mission games on Steam actually do go on sale quite regularly. I think there's a sale going on right now, allowing you to get these games with a decent discount. Without showcasing every vehicle inside of Red Thunder, I'll just name a few here. The IS-1, multiple versions of the IS-2, 6 T-34 versions, T-70, Su-85, ISU-122, 6 Panzer IV versions, 5 Panther versions, 3 Stug and 3 Stu versions, 6 Yak Panzer IV versions, the Hetzer, the Vespa. There's a huge list of half-tracks, vehicles, and cars, as well as heavy guns and artillery. Of course, the so-called pixel truppen or soldiers in the game are armed with a wide variety of small arms. Nothing like super out of the ordinary can be found in vanilla Red Thunder, but I do want to touch upon this part when we check out what's inside the Fire and Rubble DLC. Keep in mind that though airstrikes as well as off-map artillery support exist in the game, these units aren't visible, and it does kind of throw me back to the time that I once spent 15 minutes looking around in the sky when I played Shock Force 2 for the first time, looking for the Apache gunship that was providing air support. Hint, it's not there, it just comes out of the sky. Here is a screenshot of the major formations, though it's not a complete list you can expect to see in Red Thunder. On to the Fire and Rubble DLC, which continues the war in the East and covers the last months of the war from September 1944 to the Battle for Berlin in April and May of 1945. This means that battles can also be fought in winter and snow conditions with the appropriate camo and uniforms for vehicles and soldiers. It adds another 2 full-size campaigns, 3 mini-campaigns, as well as 20 more standalone battles. This is a DLC that definitely adds some crazy formations and equipment to Red Thunder, like Soviet partisans, Allied Lend-Lease equipment such as Shermans and Valentines, as well as bunkers and defensive fortifications. For the Germans, you have the Waffen-SS, the Volkssturm, the Luftwaffe, and the Kriegsmarine, alongside Yak Tigers, Yak Panthers, Brumbars, Hummels, as well as the Elephant, and more now finally available to them, while a flamethrower T-34-85, Su-100s, and more are being made available to the Soviets. Now, talking about the personal weapons, the Germans get access to late FG-42s, the Volkssturmgewehr, as well as the MP-3008, and a whole bunch of other captured rifles and equipment, mostly used to equip the civilians pressed into military service for the Volkssturm for the defense of Germany. Finally, the Battle Pack number 1 DLC requires both the base game and the Fire and Rubble DLC, and gives you access to 2 more campaigns, 13 more missions, as well as more of so-called master maps, which you can use to create your own scenarios on. Last but not least, this is sort of a secret. They did talk about this a while ago. There is supposed to be a Battle Pack number 2. I don't know when, I don't know if it's going to happen, but they outlined a whole bunch of their plans about a year ago, and a huge addition, being Battle Pack number 2, is planned for Red Thunder, or it was planned back in the day. I'm just not sure that's still on the list of things to expect. Now finally, I do want to touch on this kind of literally black magic of improving frames while also somehow improving the graphics. Combat mission games are running on a very old engine, which only allows the use of 32-bit RAM, as well as only a few of your CPU's cores. Some genius, however, figured out that you can unlock a lot more potential from your combat mission games by removing the limit the game sets on your GPU's RAM. What I'll do is I'll just include the rest of the guide here in the video. I'll also have it linked down below. It's honestly really simple. You just want to make sure to set these settings in game first before following the couple of steps. This guide was originally made for Combat Mission Black Sea, but I personally did the steps for Shock Force 2, Black Sea, Normandy, Cold War, Afghanistan, and now Red Thunder, and I noticed a big increase in frames and graphics in all of those games mentioned above. This is more of a basic review of what you can expect to find in Combat Mission Red Thunder and its 2 DLCs, and I'm really looking forward to doing some battles in a more after-action cinematic report style in this latest release, so keep your eyes peeled for that. For now, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one.